We were in several cars, and I said to my daughter, Holiday, have you ever heard of the chapel in Sedona in the beautiful red rocks? It's made out of a rock, but it's a huge cross. I said to my family, and they radioed it to the other cars, the minister wants to stop at the chapel because I felt a need to pray. There are certain things that happen in your life that you might not have an answer to, but it brings you to your knees. And there's no one else to consult but God. So we drove to the chapel, a beautiful chapel, a Catholic chapel. But when you want to talk to God, any house where his name is remembered is a good house to visit. It's a Catholic chapel. I later learned that Kobe went to the little chapel that morning and took communion. Father Steve Salad of Our Lady, Queens of Angels in Newport Beach, told KABC that Kobe 46:1 and Gianna 13 received communion for heading off for their helicopter ride. As I went in the church, the chapel, because I've been suffering from 2 meniscus tears and my legs are not as stable as I would like them to be, so 2 brothers are always by my side, because sometimes my legs just collapse and I fall, and so far I've fallen a few times when the brothers were not with me, but most of the time when it happens, I don't ever hit the ground because the brothers are there. When I got to the chapel, I was in my wheelchair, and they wheeled me down to the front of the chapel where all the candles are. And I saw where I wanted to kneel down to say my prayer, and my brother Nadir said, don't do that because it would hurt your knee. So I sat on the bench and called my son Mustafa to my side. I bowed my head and cupped my hand in the position of a dua, or the asking of something from God. And I began to pray for Kobe. I was thanking God for the joy that he gave to so many of us who watched him play. And then I began to pray for the people on the helicopter who evidently were his friends and companions, who traveled with him not knowing that they would die with the one whom they loved and was traveling with. And as I was bearing witness to the greatness of God, I just broke down. I didn't cry out, but tears fell from my eyes that were bigger than tears that I've seen before from myself. And the tear rolled down my right cheek, and I watched it fall to the ground, or not the ground, but the floor of the church. And it looked like a huge teardrop. I didn't know that my daughter was filming me and the prayer that I was saying, though my prayer was not loud. But when I opened my eyes, she was there. So some of my words are there for whatever purpose they may serve. And then I looked up, and there was the crucifix with Jesus on it. And I had not seen it until I finished my prayer and looked up. And I said, Donna, get the picture, because the Jesus Christ that was in terrible agony on that cross was black. It was bronze but burnished, so it looked black. And I said, Father, you know I'm looking. I know at myself. And I'm looking at you all, friends of mine, that may be with me in some circumstance where death hovers.